So on this worksheet, the very first problem here, we need to define our variables and write our equation. And it says the tickets at the school musical are $5 for adults and $3.50 for students. If the total value of tickets sold was $2,517.50 and 100 more student tickets were bought than adults, how many adults and student tickets were bought? So we are going to um, let let S equal number of student tickets. And I'm going to let A equal number of adult tickets. And then we're going to write an equation for two equations. So one of them, I know it's $5 for adults. So I'm going to do 5A plus 350 for students. I'm going to do 3.5S, and that equals $2,517.50. Now, the second equation, I'm going to be dealing with this 100 more students bought tickets than adults. So more students than adults. So my students is going to equal adults plus 100. Okay, because again, my students are more. And so I'm going to add 100 onto my adults to get my same number of students. Okay. In this case, I'm going to use substitution because I know S is equal to, whoops, wrong thing here. Sorry, trying to get my eraser here. So I know S is equal to A plus 100. So I'm going to put that in place of S. Okay. So I'm going to have 5A plus 3.5 times A plus 100 is equal to 2517.50. Okay, and then we're going to work this out. So we get 5A. I'm going to distribute my 3.5. So 3.5A plus 100 times 3.5. When you multiply by 100, you really move the decimal two places. So this is going to be 350. Okay, 350. When I move it two places, equals 2517.50. Then I'm going to look and see that on this side of the equal, I have my two sets of A's there. So I'm going to combine those A's and I'm going to get 8. Did it again. I'm going to do 8.5A plus 350 is equal to 251750. And then I am going to minus 350 from both sides. So I'm going to get 8.5A is equal to, let's see, 2517.50 minus 350. I got 2,167.50. I'm going to divide both sides by 8.5. And I actually got a nice number, 255, which I better because I should have whole people. Okay, so 255. Now I know that my students was equal to my adults, which is 255 plus 100. So S is going to equal 355. Okay, so 255 adults and 355 students, and they want you to write that in a complete sentence. Okay, so make sure you write a complete sentence for that. Okay, and that's where you can write in your conclusion, your complete sentence. Okay, on number 2, we're going to graph and find the point of intersection. Then we're going to solve algebraically. You should get the same answer in both. If you don't, you did something wrong. So let's say that I do blue for this one here, and I do pink for this one here. Okay, so 2x minus 4. So I'm going to start at -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry, wrong color. Change that color. Okay, wanted that one to be blue. Okay. So starting at -4, and then I'm going slope of 2, so up 2 over to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. And I want to be accurate with this. And I'm going to go backwards, down to left 1, down to left 1. And I'm going to draw a line. And hold on, I'm going to get a line that's color I want. Okay, so here's one line. Oops, sorry. Let me. Oh, it's jumping, sorry. Let me try this. Okay, so that is one line. Okay, now I have my other line. Let me just get rid of maybe this pink here. Okay, so I'm going to start at a +1 this time for the second equation. Okay, I'm trying to do it in pink. Okay, it's going to start at +1, and we're going -1/2, so down 1 over 2. And you see I just right there landed on my point of intersection. Okay, up 1, backwards 2, just so I can get my line. Okay, draw my line in. And move it slightly. Okay, and so the point where they both crossed is my point of intersection. And that point where they both cross is right here, and that's at 2, 0. So that is the solution. That is the point of intersection. And now we're going to solve algebraically, and I should be getting the same answer. So since both of these are y-equal equations, I'm going to use equal values. I'm going to set them equal. So I'm going to go 2x minus, let me make this a little thinner. 2x minus 4 is equal to -1/2 x plus 1. I think I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I'm going to get 2x is equal to -1/2 x plus 5. I am going to add 1/2 x to both sides. So when I add 1/2 x, 1/2 x, I'm going to get 2 and 1/2. I'm going to write it like this, like a decimal, 2.5. I think that'll be easier. Okay, so it's 2 and 1/2, or 2.5. And that's equal to 5. I'm going to divide both sides by 2.5. And when I do, I get 2, which is the same thing I had up here. Okay. So now, now I'm going to put 2 in to my equation for x, and hopefully I get 0 because that's what I got up there. So I'm going to put a 2 in here to either equation, And I get 4 minus 4, which is 0. So I got 2 comma 0. Notice again, same answer both times. Okay. That should always be the case. Okay, next problem. These are solving systems. Okay. The first one, letter A, one of them's in y equal, the other one's not. We're going to use substitution. I'm going to substitute this in place of the y. So I'm going to go 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 19 equals 1, and I'm going to solve. So I'm going to have 2x plus, I'm going to distribute, 10x minus, and 19 times 5 is 95. So minus 95 equals 1. I'm going to combine like terms on this side, so I get a 12x minus 95 equals 1. I'm going to add 95 to both sides, so I get 12x is equal to 96. I divide by 12. So 96 divided by 12 is 8. So I am going to have 8 comma something. So I'm going to put it into this top equations. Is probably the easiest one to find my y. So 2 times 8 minus 19. So I get 16 minus 19, which is negative 3. So it's going to be 8 comma negative 3. That is our solution. Okay, now on letter B, on this one, neither one of them is in y equal form, so I'm not going to use equal values. I'm not going to use substitution. I do notice that I have a negative 2y and a positive 2y. So if I add these two equations as is, using elimination, I get 14x. My y's cancel out is equal to a negative 14. Divide by 14, I get x is equal to negative 1. And then I need to put that negative 1 into either equation. I think I'm going to put it in the bottom one. So I get 8 times negative 1 plus 2y equals 2. So that's negative 8 plus 2y equals 2. So I'm going to add 8. So I get 2y equals 10. So y equals 5. So my answer is going to be negative 1 comma 5. On letter C, on this one, I am going to use equal values. But when I do use equal values, I am going to, not equal values, sorry, elimination. When I do use elimination, I can't add them as I see them because my x's are not going to cancel out and my y's are not going to cancel out. So I'm either going to get rid of my x's or my y's. Let's say I'm doing my x's. So I'm going to multiply this by a negative 3. That's going to give me a negative 6x minus 9y equals, and I get a negative 3 times a negative 3, which is a positive 9. I'm going to write the second equation, the top equation. Okay, I'm just going to rewrite it, not doing anything to this. 6x plus 9y equal 9. I add these two equations together. My x's cancel out, my y's cancel out. I get 0 is equal to 18. This is no solution. They were parallel lines. Okay, they're not going to cross. No solution. On number 4, okay, so we have a word problem. I think this should be if. If Evan has 356 stuffed animals, all of which are either monkeys or giraffes, maybe just Evan. Evan has 356 stuffed animals, all of which are either monkeys or giraffes. The number of giraffes he owns is 17 more than twice the number of monkeys. How many monkeys does he own? Okay, so define our variables. I'm going to have M equal number of monkeys and G equal number of giraffes. And then we're going to write two equations. And so my first equation, I'm going to deal with this 356 stuffed animals. So I'm going to go M plus G equals 356. Then I'm going to deal with this, where it says the number of giraffes is 17 more than twice the number of monkeys. Okay, so the number of giraffes is G equals 17 more. So 17 more means I'm adding 17 onto twice the number of monkeys. 2M, twice the number of monkeys, and it was 17 more. So 2M plus 17. Now, in this case, one of them is in G equal form. So this 2M plus 17 is going to go in place of G in the equation above. So I'm going to go M plus 2M plus 17 equals 356. So I get 3M plus 17 equals 356. I'm going to subtract 17 from both sides. So let's see, 356 minus 17 is 339. I am going to divide by 3, and I get 113 monkeys. Now my giraffes, I know my giraffes is equal to 2 times my number of monkeys, which is 113, plus 17. And so 2 times 113 plus 17 is 243 giraffes. And then where it says write your conclusion, you're just going to write a complete sentence saying that. Okay, for each statement, state whether it is true or false. Okay, so a solution is a system of a solution to a system of equations is where two lines intersect. True. There can only be one solution to a system of equations, and that is the point x comma y. For that, I'm going to say false, because two lines only cross at one point unless they don't cross, which would be parallel lines, or unless they are the same line. So if they are the same line, you have infinitely amount of points that actually are solutions. So that is false. If there are no solutions to a system, then the lines are parallel. That is true. Okay, on 6, Pythagoras wants to use elimination method to solve the system of equations below. He thinks that a variable will be eliminated if he multiplies the first equation by -2 and then adds the equations together. Is he correct? Explain your reasoning. So if you multiply this by a -2, you're going to get -6x minus 2y is equal to -20. And if you leave the second one written in the form it is with y plus 2x, you might accidentally take these -2y and 2x and try to eliminate them. They aren't the same variable, so you can't do that. Okay, so it does not eliminate it. So what would really happen is I would rewrite this instead of like that. I would rewrite it with my 2x plus y equals 1, and you're going to see that nothing is going to cancel out. We would end up, if I added this, getting a -4x minus y equals -19. Nothing canceled. That's not what you want to do. So what he should have done is he should have multiplied either the top or the bottom by a -1. Okay. So if I had multiplied the top by, let's say, a -1, so I get a -3x, minus y equals negative 10. And write the second one in proper order, having my 2x first plus y equal 1. When I add this, my y's are going to cancel out. I get negative x is equal to negative 9. So x is equal to 9. I put that into either equation. So let's say I put it into this one here. So when I put the 2 in, I get 18 plus y equal 1. I subtract 18, so I get negative 17. That's what you should have had. You should have multiplied by a negative 1. One of the equations multiplied by a negative 2 did not work. If f of 1 is 10 and f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 plus 5, then write the first 5 terms. Okay, so the first term is my f of 1, which is 10. This is a recursive equation that's telling us that we're adding 5. So I'm going to add 515, add 520, add 525, add 530. Okay, that's your sequence. If f of 1 equals 10, okay, so I'm going to start with 10 again, and this time f of n equals f of n minus 1 times 5. Now I'm timesing by 5. So I'm going to have 10, 50, 250. Okay. Let's see, times that by 5, I get 1250. I times that by 5, I get 6,250. On number 8, they want us to find f of 6, and f of 6 is basically saying, hey, 6 comma what? So I'm going to go to where my x is 6, and I want to see, hey, where is it 6? And you see right here, this is where my x is 6, and that's at negative 4. So this would have been at 6 comma negative 4, which means my answer is negative 4. That is your answer. Is the point 1 comma 3 on the line? So you're going to put in 1 comma 3 into the equation. So 3 is my y, negative 5 times x, which is 1, plus 2. So I get 3 is equal to negative 5 plus 2. I get 3 is equal to negative 3. So not on line. Okay, why? Because I got a false statement. On 10, simplify. Okay, none of these have negative exponents, so we don't have to worry about that. On the top, I'm going to keep as is for a second. The bottom, everything on bottom is going to be raised to the power 3. So 2 to the 3 is 8. My x squared to the power 3, power to power I multiply, so 2 times 3 is 6. And my y to the third. Okay, so I'm going to have a 5 on top and 8 on bottom. With my x's, I have an x to the 6 on top and an x to the 6 on bottom, so those are going to cancel. They make really a 1. I have a y squared on top and a y cubed on bottom. I'm going to have a y on bottom. And that's my answer, 5 over 8y. On 11, I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to, let me just zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to minus 4x from both sides. And so I get 6y is, that's an x. 6y is equal to 48 minus 4x, or negative 4x plus 48. I'm going to divide by 6, divide by 6, divide by 6. So I get y is equal to, and 48 divided by 6 is 8. 4 over 6, I can reduce to 2/3 x. And that's your equation. Sketch a graph to represent the following situation. Algebra is given a 3-mile head start and rises bike 1/4 miles per hour. Okay, so this is going to be hours on the x. This is going to be miles. Okay, 1/4 miles per hour. So it's basically 1 mile every 4 hours is what that 1/4 is. So he's going to start at 3. And then we're going to go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And, whoops. Sorry, I was trying to erase. And so that is our line. Didn't mean for it to be jagged. Should be solid line. And there's our line. Okay, on number 13, this is where you're going to draw a 2x2 box. We have a 3x and a -2. We have a 4x and a +7. I'm going to multiply. First box is a 12x squared. 4x times -2 is a -8x. 7 times 3x is a 21x. 7 times -2 is a -14. So I'm going to get 12x squared. 21x minus 8x is a positive 13x minus 14. That is your answer. On the last problem here, I'm going to distribute my 5, and so I'm going to get a negative 20x. Now, so we got to be careful. Negative 5 times -3 is a positive 15. So I get a negative 10x when I do that math. Plus 15 equals 30. I minus 15 from both sides, and I get, whoops, I get a negative 10x is equal to 15. Divide, and I get x is equal to negative 15 over 10. You can reduce both of these by 5 and get a negative 3 over 2 or negative 1.5. Any of those are acceptable. So make sure you know how to do all these for the test tomorrow.